one of the hot topics of the 8th edition has been the 7 metre rule. It's caused a bit of concern and questions. Hopefully that I can put your mind at ease. First of all, let's talk about the midfield 7 metres. It doesn't change. The referees have been refereeing to 7 metres in the midfield for a long, long time, for years, in an attempt to keep the game apart and keep flow through the middle third. So realistically, we don't envisage there'll be much change to the game at all, if any, with the 7 metres. Now, just to prove my point, we're going to look at some footage of the 7 metres in the midfield. Let's have a look.
For the long cutout ball, but just couldn't quite get the mark.
Now, the other place that a 7 metre zone comes into play is on the try line. Now, we've heard the same thing, oh, it's now 7 metres, it's going to be hard to get back onside. We know this has been a hot topic, but you know what? It's not that big a deal. What we've tried to do here is actually make it a more consistent rule. We've taken away a lot of the discretionary powers that referees have here because this is what's actually happening. In the 7th edition, the rule actually says a minimum of 5 metres. It doesn't say 5 metres, which everybody thinks it does. It says a minimum. So in one particular game, you have a referee who gets you back to the try line when you dump on the 5. That's correct. In the same game, another referee could get you back to the try line when you dump on the 6 or 7. That's also correct. And in the same game, the third referee, they may get you back to the try line when you dump on the 8. Well, guess what? All of those referees, all three, are technically correct by the 7th edition. That's very hard to play to. So all we're trying to do is get some sort of consistency. Now I want to show you a video clip just to prove what I'm saying. Now in that particular video, you can see that the strike dump was made at about 8, maybe even 9 metres out. The referees deemed that both players were offside because they didn't get to the try line and the try was awarded. That's correct. By the 7th edition, of which this tournament was played, that's actually technically correct. So what we're trying to do is say, to be onside, it is now 7 metres. We take out the discretion. Now most referees, and I can't blame them for this, when they're looking for an onside, they're using the try line as a reference point. They look at the line to make sure that you get back to the line. So it's not really to them if it's dumping on the 5, 6 or 7 isn't the focal point. It's getting back to the try line. That's how they tell if they're onside. It's a reference point. That makes sense. That's fair enough. All we're trying to say is your reference point now is no longer the try line. Your reference point is the 7 metre line. If you dump on the 7 metre line, onside is the try line. If you dump 1 metre before the 7 metre line, onside is 1 metre before the try line. If you dump 2 metres before the 7 metre line, guess what? Onside is 2 metres before the try line. We don't want to see a referee at any level get somebody back to the try line when they dumped 1 or 2 metres in front of the 7 metre line. We want to keep it consistent. We want players, coaches and referees all on the same page. 7 is 7.